So that was the first half of the sentence. Second half of the sentence, they say, second half of the sentence indicates that emotion can also change the value of things that you have stored in your mind. This would be a little harder to explain. We all have both memories and a system for placing value on those things that enter our awareness. As an example, when you were a child, you knew that a neighbor man who was always real nice to the children in the block. That was a memory. Because he was always nice, you placed a value on that memory and acted accordingly whenever you saw that man. As you grew up, there was a day when you saw the same man coming home drunk, and as you watched, he proceeded to beat his wife and children. That too was a memory. Now, using the value system you have developed over the years, you changed the value that you had given the man and the value you had placed on all the memories that you had of that man. From experiencing that one event, you revalued each and every memory of that man and changed the value of each one of these memories. And so what they're saying here is that because of the emotional impact of that thing that you saw, that fact, the man beating his wife and children, you kind of go back down through all of your memories of that man and reevaluate them, revalue them, put another value on them. Nope, he's not a good man. He only seemed like a good man. So here you have a way where, or an understanding that the emotions, which are subconscious, that emotional impact of seeing that man beat his wife and children, that put new values on all those things that you had logically, concretely, 5 sense materially put in your memory. You reevaluated them all. So here's something that's changing the way you see the world, and it is emotion, and a lot of it is subconscious. And they go on and say, understanding how that process works, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to imagine how an emotion might change for the moment the value of any memory or the process of determining the value itself. The emotion is not a concrete event, but rather a feeling that changes how you perceive those things that are coming into your awareness. That emotion also changes how you feel about the thing you've already become aware of. And thus, we can say the 5 sources of emotion are all in our awareness, if at all, by coloring or modifying the input to the brain from the 5 senses and changing the values we use in our thought processes. Now the long sentence says the same thing. Emotion changes the input to our brain from the 5 senses. Our good, concrete, solid, logical, mathematical brain uses tainted material. It's tainted by emotion. So when you're told that if you can't taste it, feel it, touch it, smell it, hear it, it doesn't exist, when you can taste it, hear it, smell it, see it, touch it, it might not exist. If the emotional influence is strong enough, you're being lied to, not lied to, but your perceptions are being modified by the emotion. If you think this is tough, you should have read the first stuff that I had to rewrite this book too, probably several times. If you think this is difficult, you should have seen what they gave me the first time. Might get around to writing that one up too. Whew, boy, anybody that read that was lost quick. It was interesting, but boy, was it technical and really difficult to understand. So kind of what they're saying here, they left out. I mean, I've had to change a lot of things here so that it became more understandable. And the basic understanding here is that you think that you're logical, rational, 5-sensed, normal human being, and they're saying, look, even the 5 senses that you use to determine your world are tainted by emotion. And you've thrown emotion out the window as a monkey thing. And they're saying you've been lied to. These things are things that you need to be aware of. You need to be aware that they're coming. You need to be aware that they exist. You need to be aware of which is it that's influencing you. Don't think that you're a hard, cold, logical human being, because that isn't the way it really is. And so then they go on. We began this part of the discussion with the understanding that we were going to help you see what part of the total mind of man actually entered his awareness. This level, in which emotion enters the mind, is an important level, as you can clearly see. How much of this level enters your awareness? How much of the emotion you're aware of has any meaning? The answer to those questions will give you a clear understanding that you are not aware of this level of man's mind to any significant extent. We cannot say the same about the next level, and here they put it in brackets. It is our contention that there is a reason why man is limited to only the next level of the mind of man. You saw the influence the emotion level had on man, and man isn't supposed to be aware of that level. Now you see the influence that the next level has on man, and see also that man is totally aware of this level. Why is that? This is kind of a continuation of what they were saying before, which is you're not aware of any level except the logical, rational, mathematical, five-sense, earth-oriented level. Why? And to prove the point, they say, here's a whole part of the keyboard that's the emotional, genetic, so on and so forth influence on the man, has over 50% of its influence on man, colors those things that you get from the five senses, you're not aware of them. The next level, which is the level that man is aware of, is I'll read it and show you what I mean. What they're trying to point out to you is, number one, you're not aware, you're not made aware of, you're not taught to be aware of, you're taught actually to be unaware of the emotional level, the level below your conscious awareness. Then comes the conscious part. Let's look at the conscious part and see what's inside of that. So then they go on and they say, the next level of man's awareness, that level of our mind which awareness most surely resides, is the logical, scientific, rational part of the mind. We are now at the 6 keys of the piano. We are experts in all facets of this level. In fact, we think we are slowly learning everything there is to know about this level. And they say, kind of in brackets, for you, as a pointing out, as each expert on the cutting edge of discovering any field of scientific investigation is interviewed, he or she will indicate or make reference to the same thought at some point in time. This thought can be summed up with this sentence. There is this nagging feeling that we are searching the void for that which has been or soon will be created by us as an answer to our need for the answer to our need. And then they say, or to put it another way, just as valid, there ain't nothing out there, folks, until we create it for ourselves. What does that mean? There is a carrot out there in front of the search that keeps us in the material world for our answers. Some few who are out at the very edge of research can almost see that it is a carrot. What are they trying to say? There is a nagging feeling that we are searching the void for that which has been or soon will be created by man as an answer to our need for the answers to our needs. That's a pretty good sentence. There's a nagging feeling that we're creating out of nothing those things that answer our need for something. We're creating our reality out of the void. This 5 sense, concrete, scientific, solid. Again, they're pointing out to you that there's more to reality than you think. There's more to reality than you've been told. There's more to reality than you've been taught. And if you go out to those people that are searching the very edges of our reality for the truth, they all have that same nagging feeling that we're creating and as we go along. So, let's go on. The logical, mathematical, scientific, rational left side frontal lobe of man's brain is holding reign over the rest of the mind. And the mind here is emphasized. Mind rather than brain. Holding reign over all that comes into man's awareness. That funnel, forcing, squeezing, compressing, and changing all data until it fits the pre-programmed parameters of the material mind is where man's awareness begins and ends. That is the level of man's total mind that his awareness clings to. At this level, all things can be examined, measured, classified, and filed away into the little boxes called words, which can later be brought out and again compared to any new thing entering our awareness. And as this process was shown to be the way, the model of man was created, formed, firmed, and hardened. As this process was shown to be the only way to do things, then, and they say the model, let's say their model of man was created, formed, firmed, and hardened, solidified, locked in. That process of funneling everything down into this small little 6-key world where it can be examined, measured, classified, and filed away into the little boxes called words. And those words can later be brought out and compared to any new thing that enters our awareness. And that process of squashing and squeezing and distorting things until they can fit the parameters of our logical world, that was taught to be the way, the only way to do things. And with that way, the model of man was created and formed and firmed and hardened and solidified and now is there.